I don't really know where to start, but I'm back after a couple of months. Nah, I've been around. So let me just go ahead and say I did update my channel a little bit. If you look now on my channel header, channel banner, whatever you want to call it, I put my Discord up there. So if you want to, you can now join the Discord. It's open. Also, the link to the Discord is also down in the description if you guys want to go check that out. I'm still adding a lot more stuff to the Discord to do. I'm even adding my own music there. Also, if you are a content creator, I do have a space where you can come and post your own content at. And if you also make music, there is a spot for that too as well. Yeah, man, come and join the Discord. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to my man, Trey number 3. I did post about it on my community tab, but I also want to state it here as well for you guys that may have not seen it. Number 3 does interviews and he interviewed me, and I'll put that video down in the description. Also, you can click up here at the top. And also, I will be putting a link down into the description for his website, because also he made a whole page specifically for me. And sometimes I do go and appear on his Twitch channel and we chop it up a little bit, talk a little bit about Dragon Ball. So, hey, man, go subscribe to his Twitch and his YouTube, man. He drops good content as well. And because you know I'll also be over there sometimes as well. So now I won't take any more of you guys' time. So let's get into this video.
What is your name? Young Shogun. What's happening?
All right, so it's been a little minute. What I want to do right now is I'm going to do a little recap about everything that transpired, starting with my Dragon Ball Superhero review. Now, it's probably been about a year ago since I made that video. And then a couple months ago, I decided to go back and rewatch that video and also read through the comments. And then I saw one comment that stuck out to me. And this guy said he was going to counter my points because some of my points fell flat in the video. So I decided to make a video reacting to, I guess you can say, points that he tried to counter of mine. And I pretty much destroyed every argument that he made, even though he doesn't feel that way. So I said he could respond or he didn't have to. Well, since I was gone a couple of months, he actually did respond. And I touched over that in a little live video that I did. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to end this today because I'm not about to do a back and forth with this guy. And I do want to say that I think your profile picture is kind of ironic. That's all I'm going to say. So let's take a look at this latest response. It's common for an antagonist to be overconfident and cocky. Without any prior knowledge or evidence of the protagonist surviving, they usually don't care who sees them because they got rid of their biggest threat. Why would Gamma 2 be any different? Well, let's start with the antagonist being overconfident, cocky thing. That is not a common thing for antagonists to be, because I don't know if you know this or not, but there are different kinds of antagonists. So you can't say it's common for an antagonist to be a certain way when there's different kinds of antagonists. Maybe you mean the villain antagonist. But even if you want to talk about a villain antagonist, I think it's more common for villains to be underconfident. Let's be honest. It's probably most villains that they're either outnumbering people or they're taking advantage of somebody or something or whatever the situation is. There's only very few antagonists that actually will fight a fair fight. And the question you asked, why would Gamma 2 be any different? I don't know if you know this or not, but Piccolo wasn't his biggest threat. It was actually Gohan. Well, if you want to be honest, it was actually Goku and Vegeta. And I don't even think they even knew where Goku and Vegeta was at. So if you don't know where these two antagonists are at, should you really be going off of your own fighting Piccolo? Which, going back to what I said before, that's why I think it makes him stupid. It's like he didn't even think this whole thing through before he went off and did this. And then to openly fly back to your base is fucking stupid, which is what I was trying to get you to understand. But I guess you don't understand that. It is how Bulma is now in Dragon Ball Super. Super changes and retcons a lot of his characters. Bulma is now jealous of Saiyans and how they don't physically age. This is even shown at the end of Z with Bulma stating that she was jealous. You see this first part that you wrote? Super changes and retcons a lot of his characters. So I want you to understand this because you're having a hard time. If something is bad inside the anime, then it's also bad inside the movie. Does that logic not connect with your brain? If it's bad inside the anime, which you said it changes and retcons, that's a bad thing, right? If it's bad inside the anime, then it's bad inside the movie. And how can you say Bulma is now jealous of the Saiyans and then say that she stated that at the end of Z? Do you realize this is not the end of Z? So those two things contradict each other. And at the end of Z, it was actually Goku who said that she looked old, and she just stated that she thought that Saiyans are freaks, and everybody around says that she looks young for her age. And then she says she's going to ask Shinron to make her look younger. But with the continuation of GT, we've seen that she never actually did it. Whether you want to say GT is canon or not, she never did it. But also, here's another way to look at it. This movie doesn't even fit at the end of Z. She now has Dr. Hedo, who she asked if he can make her look younger. This movie is supposed to be 1 year before the end of Z. So what the hell happens to Hedo in a year where he doesn't make her look younger? Piccolo needed to spread exposition. Let me ask you a question. How the hell did you just move the goalpost? Your previous statement was that this is who Piccolo was. So is that not who Piccolo is anymore? Are you just going to go with, oh, well, he just needed to spread exposition? On top of this, Pan was asking and confused as to what was going on because of how Piccolo was dressed. And I literally showed you proof from Dragon Ball Z of them asking and confused to what Piccolo was going to do. People who's much stronger than Pan. People who could be as of more use than Pan. And he didn't tell them anything. I literally showed you that. What? She's 3.5 years old. Pan was needed for the plot anyways, as the Red Ribbon Army wanted to kidnap her. Piccolo decided to fill her in what was going on. And yes, and that's the fucking problem that I have. Why are you explaining to a 3.5-year-old what the fuck is going on? All you needed to do, and I said this before, is tell her we're going to go get some ice cream or something. You could just tell her, hey, it's the game. And Pan was needed for the plot, but the plot was fucking stupid. Because the whole plot was to get Gohan to the Red Ribbon Army base. But you literally could have just asked him to come. When has Gohan ever turned down a fight? And if you want to say, well, Piccolo also wanted to kidnap Pan because he wanted to bring out Gohan's rage and to make him stronger or whatever, or teach him a lesson, whatever the lesson Piccolo wanted to teach Gohan, it was also fucking stupid. Let me go ahead and explain how this movie or how this plot could have been better written. Let's say Piccolo infiltrated the Red Ribbon Army base. Piccolo realizes they have 2 androids and they're making Cell Max, who is stronger than all of them, and he knows that all of them are also stronger than Gohan. And Piccolo overhears their plan, which is they're about to get ready and go to Gohan's house and kill him. Piccolo knows that Gohan will be killed if he doesn't warn him. Piccolo then leaves the Red Ribbon Army base and goes and warns Gohan about the incoming danger. Then Gohan has a plan to go and infiltrate the Red Ribbon Army base with Piccolo and destroy Cell Max before they ever get a chance to release him. So then they do just that. But on their way doing that, Cell Max somehow gets awakened anyway. Now you pretty much got the same fucking movie, but in my opinion, those events are better. Because in that scenario, no character can really look fucking stupid. That would be the more logical thing to do. But let's carry on. Yes, Jiro had been working on androids all his life, but androids 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 were all made in a cave with not that many resources outside his supercomputer. Hedo, who was supposed to be smarter than Jiro, was capable of making androids stronger than Blue, arguably UI and UE, with access to however many resources he needs thanks to the new and improved Red Ribbon Army. Okay, first of all, this Red Ribbon Army is not improved at all because they folded faster than the old one. Now, something that you don't really understand is that even though Jiro made his androids inside of a cave, Dr. Brief and Bulma were blown away with how the androids were made. They couldn't really even understand them themselves. Do you not understand that? They have more resources than Dr. Jiro. But Dr. Jiro is very, very, very intelligent, which is what I'm trying to get you to understand. He's a very intelligent man. How the fuck is this 24-year-old smarter than all these people? It doesn't matter how many resources he has. So that argument is dumb. And how is Hedo supposed to be smarter than Jiro? Just because they say so? He's only smarter than them because it's a forced plot. It's forced. Just like the power-ups. They're forced. Let's move on. Also, Black Widow, the Punisher, Rocket Raccoon, Silver Sable, Deadshot, Jonah Hex, Nick Fury, War Machine all use guns. Some aren't superheroes in that list, but they all have no powers and use weapons. And wait a minute, did you just read what the fuck you just said? You said they all have no powers, but use weapons. And I asked you a question. Give me a superhero meaning a being with superpowers that use weapons. Now, the list of people that you just gave me, do any of these people compare to Gamma 1 and 2? Let's just say if you put Gamma 1 and 2 up against any of these people, who wins? It's an obvious question. None of these people have any shot in beating Gamma 1 and 2. Because Black Widow is what? Human. The Punisher is what? Human. Rocket Raccoon is in his name. Silver Sable. She's the same thing as Black Widow. Deadshot. What is he? Jonah Hex. Nick Fury. And if you want to talk about War Machine, it's like somebody being inside of a tank that can fly and calling them a superhero. The man inside the suit isn't a superhero. Like, you really want to die on this fucking hill, do you? Just because they don't have superpowers doesn't mean they aren't superheroes. Then you obviously never looked up the definition of superheroes. But because you're not very intelligent, I will do the due diligence for you. Superhero, a benevolent fictional character with superhuman powers, such as Superman. I hope the definition actually helps you now. It'd be dumb to say Batman, Black Widow, and Iron Man aren't superheroes because they don't have powers. Well, first of all, I never said Batman. Batman probably could pass as a superhero. Iron Man could almost be the same way. Without his suit, he's not. He's nothing. He's a human. I brought up the games because they are official sources. The games classify Gohan's ultimate form as a transformation. You admitting that you don't care what happens in Super doesn't help you. You sure got me there. So let me go ahead and tackle that point right there. When I said I don't care what happens in Super, I don't think you really comprehend what I said. So what I said to this guy was that I don't care, because he likes to say, well, it happens in Super. Because for some reason in this guy's head, he thinks that just because it happens in Super, I'm supposed to give it a pass here. This is what he thinks. But no, I don't give it a pass here. It doesn't matter if it happens in Super. I don't care. Anytime I see this shit, it's bad. So I don't care if Gohan was transforming into Ultimate Gohan inside Dragon Ball Super. It doesn't matter. It's bad. It shouldn't be that way. And you said you brought up the games because they're official sources. And you said the games classify Gohan's ultimate form as a transformation. Well, here's Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Tell me why this game does not classify Gohan's ultimate form as a transformation. So when you say games, which is plural, meaning more than one, what games are you talking about? Because you sure got me there. Also, if that's not enough for you, I also went and played Raging Blast 2. And guess what? Gohan's ultimate form isn't a transformation in that game. Remember when they was on Namek and Krillin and Gohan got their potential, at least half of it, I think something like that, their half of their potential unlocks or whatever? That's like saying that they just started treating that like it's a transformation. This is the dumbest rebuttal I've ever heard. Most superheroes do sneak attack, such as Batman, Nightwing, Spider-Man, The Flash, etc.
When they have to be stealthy.
So you just debunked your own self. Because Gamma 2, he wasn't even being stealthy here. So why even say that? You proving my point. Overconfidence and cockiness are a character trait as well for a lot of superheroes. No, that's not true. First of all, overconfidence isn't even a character trait. I don't even know why we having this discussion. Overconfidence is a feeling. Anybody can get overconfident or can have a feeling of not being confident at all. Like if you put a woman in front of me, I'm confident I can beat her ass, even though I would never hit a woman. And I'm not advocating for domestic violence. But if you put, let's say, a UFC fighter in front of me, well, I'm not going to be very confident I could beat him. So overconfidence is something that can come and go depending on the person and depending on what you know you can do and can't do. So that's not a character trait. I don't know why that's even an argument. And I bet it's one that you brought up too. And if you're trying to say Gamma 2 has a cocky personality trait, I found this on cocky personality traits, right? Excessive bragging, rudeness, needing to be right, seeking admiration, exaggerating abilities, having a my way or the highway attitude, lack of self-awareness, seeing everything as competition, feeling pressure to be the best or perfect, being oversmart or sounding overconfident, getting everyone's attention with pressure, behaving rudely to weak and average people. And right there, that's not even what a superhero is supposed to be. Acting as if what they do is the only perfect. Now, I want you to tell me any of these that seems like Gamma 2. And I can tell you none of them seems like Gamma 2. And even if you did find one that sounds like Gamma 2, does that sound like a fucking superhero? Any of those? Yes, Gamma 2 changing his mission to rather include killing Piccolo was not very hero-like. So put a period after that. Why the hell did you put butt for? That's not hero-like. But you don't want to admit that you're wrong, so you're going to try to butt your way out of this. But he already viewed him as a villain. So fucking what? It doesn't matter. You said this guy has a superhero personality. I asked you, is that superhero-like? You said it yourself. It's not superhero-like. So let's talk about other superheroes. Those superheroes that you claim that do sneak attack, how many of them actually kill their opponents when they sneak attack them, though? I know Batman put his opponents to sleep. So do Spider-Man. Nightwing is Robin, Batman's former sidekick. The Flash, I don't know any of these guys that kill people. This is just such a dumb argument, man. And I'm reading this shit, man. I'm looking like a clown for reading this shit on, but I'm going to finish this. On top of this, the Red Ribbon Army want Piccolo dead anyways. You sound like a fucking moron. On top of this, damn, more on top of this shit. You keep stacking shit, you know what's going to happen. You get a bunk bed. Goku is not a hero. That is the English dub changing Goku's entire character. Goku just wants a fun fight. If his fight endangers the planet and innocent people, Goku will act on it and try to save everyone. Goku is not Superman. Well, I never said Goku was Superman, so I don't know where the fuck you got that from. But I want you to look at something very closely, because what you did earlier in the paragraph, you did it here again. You said, Goku is not a hero. And then you said, Goku will act on it and try to save everyone. You know what that makes him if he tries to save everyone?
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Goku!
You just debunked yourself again. In one paragraph, you managed to debunk yourself twice. Not only did you debunk your own argument, you contradicted yourself. And so since you want to sit here and say, oh, that's the English dub changing Goku's entire character, let's go to Dragon Ball. Now, I'm going to go off the top of my head because I haven't seen Dragon Ball in a couple years now. But Goku was saved by the little girl in the village. Goku then does her and her mother a favor by saving their village mayor, chief, or whatever you want to call him, from the Red Ribbon Army. Whether you watch this in sub or dub, in any language, Goku saved that man, which therefore makes him a hero. Now, we can pull up more examples from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and GT to further prove Goku is a hero. But I'm not going to do that here for the purpose of keeping this video as short as I possibly can. But I just want you to know that you sound like an idiot. I'll give you this because this time you made an actual good argument, unlike the last few times. No, you're just bad at comprehending things. So that's why to you, all my arguments doesn't seem that good. But hold it right there. I'm going to explain to everybody what you're talking about. So if you remember in the last video, this guy stated that Android 16 was a full-blown robot and he was able to learn to be a good guy and to not hate or not to kill Goku, things of that nature. And he was trying to use that to counter my point where I said that Gamma 1 and 2, they just listened to Piccolo and just decided not to go through with their mission, even though they was programmed to obey. And I said, how the fuck does full-blown robots that is programmed up and change their programming like that? It doesn't make sense. And so, yeah, that's what he tried to do. But I had to make him see that that was a fucking stupid argument. I guess he conceded. But let me tell you something, Ninja Guy. Since you think that's the only good argument that I made, I'm reading through the rest of your reply, and I don't see where you decided to continue the argument that you made in the previous post. Everyone, this the same guy that said that Gamma 2 or Gamma 1, whichever one, turned to ash. So I had to tell him, hey, man, you sound fucking stupid as fuck. Robots don't turn to ash, you moron. And I don't see anywhere where he wanted to continue that argument. I guess he said, fuck it, I messed up. Fat Gotenks is a gag/joke character. Hybrid Saiyans have also been shown to have much stronger potential and power than full-blooded Saiyans anyway. That's not actually true. It was only one, and it was Gohan. And if you're going to use Trunks and Goten because they turned Super Saiyan before anybody really did in their lifetime, well, then I'm going to present you with future Trunks. He didn't turn Super Saiyan as a kid. They played off this moment like a gag/joke. Goten wasn't originally brought up because it appears that Goten and Trunks have not been training, with Goten even asking himself if he remembers how to perform fusion. I know this moment was played off as a fucking joke. That's the whole point of why it's terrible. I don't know if you really having problem comprehending that. Name me one point in time where a main villain in any Dragon Ball movie, and there's plenty of them, where they just played off of a serious moment like a gag / joke. You can't. Piccolo hasn't used it prior because it was not useful in any situation he be in. Again, he most likely forgot because it was not useful in any other scenario. However, Krillin figured it would be useful because it would put Piccolo at least at an even height with Cell Max. So I'm going to state to you again what I originally said in my original video. Krillin understands Piccolo body better than Piccolo. I mean, we want to keep going around in circles until you finally fucking admit it. And that's just what it is. If Piccolo forgot his own move and Krillin remembers Piccolo's move, Krillin knows Piccolo body better than Piccolo. Yes, I know Piccolo was calling the shots. No, you didn't. And even though I didn't show it in the review, you responded specifically to what I showed instead of what I was talking about. And that's your fault. I'm also meaning after that too, when Gohan Beast was charging up the special beam cannon. I wasn't talking about that point though. Like I said, you responded to what I showed instead of what I was talking about. I don't even know why you viewed this as a problem in your previous video. Well, then let me explain this to you for the third fucking time then. Since you have problem comprehending things. Gohan was the fucking leader of Team 7, Universe 7, whatever you want to call them. Piccolo was not the leader of Universe 7. So that shows character regression. That was the problem that I had. Character regression. Do you not understand what that word means? Gohan was telling Piccolo what to do in the Tournament of Power because Gohan was designated as team leader, but also because Gohan had a plan. And do you understand why Gohan was designated as the team leader? When you find that reason out, then you come back to talk to me. Because I don't feel like telling you. I want you to actually learn something on your own for once. And Gohan was not designated as the team leader because he had a fucking plan. It was also used for nostalgia purposes. Nah, don't bridge onto what I said, dude. Because in my superhero review, I said that it was for nostalgia purposes. And you know what you said? You said I didn't pay attention to the movie. So no, don't say, well, it was also used for nostalgia purposes, bridging onto what I said. Fuck off. Don't do that shit. Keep the same energy that you said before. Say I didn't pay attention. But that doesn't make it any less of a weak spot on Cell Max. His head was a weak spot. And after finally penetrating through it, it caused him to self-destruct. You guys, I don't think this dude really understands what a fucking weak spot is. So Ninja Guy, you literally said yourself that they had to play off on this moment like a gag / joke. You said that. So if you hit a weak spot and nothing happens, how is it a weak spot? Casualties always, with all caps, happens in fights, especially in superhero fights. Can you prove that? I don't think you can. The city is almost destroyed in every Superman fight. I don't think you want to state that. But does that make Superman any less of a superhero? No. Also, with you calling me dumb and retarded, I don't think I'll stop with saying that you need to pay attention. That's cute. But let's talk about the stupid response that you had. First of all, there are many fights that happens in superhero movies, comics, and TV shows, and also in anime and manga that don't result in any casualties. Many of them. And because I've never really been into comics, more specifically Superman comics, I wasn't really sure on how to answer this question. So I did some research, right? And you won't believe what I found. Well, number one, some of Superman fights don't even happen on Earth. So I find that very interesting. Number two, some Superman fights don't even happen with people dying. They just get arrested. And yeah, that story goes on. And number three, even if you want to say, okay, when he fights superhuman beings, sometimes only a building gets destroyed, not even the whole city, or even half the city gets destroyed. So I had to go do some digging into this to find that information, because I don't know why you stated that unless you only watched the Man of Steel movie, and that's probably why you believe that. I don't really know, because I actually had to sit there and read through a couple Superman comics because you didn't tell the whole truth. I'm not really mad at that. I actually really enjoy some of the Superman comics. They're actually pretty interesting. I might go back and read some more after this. Oh yeah, but I never really answered the last question. But let me do it with a hypothetical. Let's just say in almost every Superman fight, most of the city is destroyed, right? Would that make Superman less of a hero? You said no, well I say yes. The thing about Goku is he asked to relocate before he fights his opponent, if it's near a city. If Superman fights in a city knowing that the city is going to be destroyed every single time and he doesn't give a fuck, heroes don't take lives, they save them. That would make Superman less of a hero, much less a superhero. He wouldn't even be a fucking hero. Because just beating up bad guys doesn't make you a hero. That makes you more of an anti-hero, if anything. So I hope that answered your question. Gamma once stated that Cell Max had a bomb in him as a failsafe in case Cell Max was released early and used against everyone. He didn't say used against everyone. Hedo was most likely forced to create Cell Max as the Reverend Army can pull Hedo's funding and resources from making the Gamma androids. No, let's stop right there. He already had the Gamma androids made before Cell Max was even finished, which is what I was trying to get you to understand. He didn't have to finish making Cell Max. If I'm not mistaken, which I could be wrong, I think the Gamma was helping him make Cell Max. With that information, he didn't have to make Cell Max. And side note, if Hedo is supposed to be smarter than Jiro, and Jiro can do this shit in the cave, why the fuck can't Hedo? See how what you saying is just so fucking stupid, man? I'm trying to get you to understand that the shit that you saying is dumb. You're trying to defend this movie, but you can't. As that was something Hedo was very passionate about. Sure, he could have called the police, but Hedo would have almost likely go to jail for being associated with the Red Ribbon Army and making androids again. That's not actually true. Listen, look, you can go and watch my manga reviews. I covered the manga. Everybody here is very well caught up on the manga because of, let's just say, the pain I had to suffer to get through that manga and to review it for everyone. You can go and watch those videos too. We go over everything that Hedo went through. Hedo wouldn't have went to jail if he would have called the police because they would look at it as him helping them. In the manga, we learn it's the fucking police's fault why the Red Ribbon Army got Hedo in the first place. They allowed the Red Ribbon Army to get Hedo, even though they knew what the Red Ribbon Army was up to. So Hedo, with this information and him knowing that the police want him as well, could use that to benefit himself. Because now that he got his Gamma androids, he could put them into hiding and he could say, well, the Red Ribbon Army is forcing me to make Cell Max. Look at this. Now the police is on your side. You got your Gamma androids. Boom. So no, I don't agree with what you're saying here. Creating a bomb that the Red Ribbon Army doesn't know about would have been his best bet. No, dude, shut up. Also, the weak spot being in his head is a callback to Cell's nucleus being in his head. So you're just stating more nostalgia right here. It doesn't matter. So I guess that'll wrap this video up then. Ninja Guy, I will not be responding to you ever again in terms of a video. This was fucking stupid. This back and forth. I wish this shit would have ended with the first video so I could have been move on to something else. Because I got other videos that I am about to release as soon as this one drop as well. So yeah, Ninja Guy, I'm moving on. If you want to still argue this down in the comments of this video, you can go ahead, but I don't give a fuck anymore. You done made yourself look dumb as fuck. It's just no point of even keep going back and forth with you. Though I will say this, if you do decide to comment down in the comment section below, tell me one thing, and I can laugh at this. Do you really think Gamma 2 could turn into Ash?